My name is Budur Al-Abri, and this is Off the Field, a show where I talk to Arab women in sports. And today, on this episode, we're going under the sea as Ihda Al-Barwani finds peace diving the oceans of the world. And so she made a career out of it, becoming the first female Omani PADI instructor. Enjoy the show. Welcome, Ihda, to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for taking time to actually speak to us today.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. So let's just start. How are you?
Good. I'm well. Thank you.
Did you dive today?
I didn't. It's very cold these days. But in summer I do.
Okay. And when do you prefer diving in summer?
So the weather heats up around June, July.
Okay.
So as the outside weather heats up, the sea heats up as well. So that's generally when I dive.
Okay.
During winter, it's 23 degrees, which is much too cold for me.
Oh, no, I'm not a cold babe either. Which is summer it is for me. Okay. So I like to start my interviews and take it back to the origin.
Okay.
All right. So, what initially drew you to the world of diving?
Well, most of us Omanis are coastal people, aren't we? We live next to the ocean. And so a lot of the times with my family, we'd go to the beach on Fridays, we'd do barbecues and things like that. I say I am a water baby because I grew up swimming in the ocean, in the pool, which is fantastic. So scuba diving was just a natural progression from just being in the ocean, being in the water constantly, and then deciding to scuba dive for fun. But career-wise, I started it during my travel. Actually, I was backpacking for a while. And as what happens when you are traveling for a while, your funds start to become less and less.
Yes.
And so I was looking for an avenue of making money. And scuba diving was the easiest way, right? Because I was traveling through the coast. So I did my dive master, and then I started working as freelance here and there. So yeah, that started.
Right. And can you share a memorable or impactful experience that you've had while diving?
Memorable experience, so many.
Pick one.
Okay. I would say the best one was whale sharks, actually.
Oh.
But not in Oman. We do have whale sharks in Oman, but whale sharks in Thailand. So during my dive master course, the Thai boats are huge. They'd take 30, 40 people in a boat, right, to go scuba diving. And, we'd go out scuba diving, we'd come back, and practically the whole boat would say, hey, I saw whale sharks, and I got to swim with whale sharks. 3 months, and I just never saw them.
For 3 months?
For 3 months. The whole boat would see them, I would not see them. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
So my instructor comes in and tells me, listen, you don't find the whale sharks found you or find you. And I thought, right, very profound, but really annoying. I don't like it.
Because come and find me right now.
Yes, this is rubbish, But then one day we were doing a safety stop, and you do a safety stop for 3 minutes to offset your gases. Very technical when it comes to scuba diving. But as I was doing it, I was the only one left in the water. And suddenly I see this massive shape swimming towards me, very slowly, very smooth, And then I look and I see it's a whale shark cub. And I say cub because they're the most curious, right? They're like puppies. And so it was attracted to the bubbles that was coming out of my reg.
Set.
And they love it because it tickles their bellies. And so it was just swimming above me, around me, and it was just me.
So they found you.
And they found me. Yeah. It turned out to be true.
That's so nice.
Yes.
That's a very nice story. Like, I don't do animals because I don't like animals like that. But I don't like them because I'm scared of them.
Okay.
But I'm happy for you. Like, that's a really nice story.
Yes. Fish don't speak because they don't move much. You just swim around.
Okay.
As animals go.
So I want you to tell me more about the challenges that you have faced as a woman in the diving community, be it in Oman or anywhere else that you've done diving before.
Okay. So scuba diving historically or so far has been predominantly male. And I think, most of the sports has started predominantly male. all right, and until the women start being interested and then pursuing it. Scuba diving is no different. I suppose, challenge-wise, it'll be if you're on a dive boat, let's say, it's mostly men on a dive boat. Okay. Right? Very seldom do you see, a predominantly women dive boat, right? That can come with its challenges, obviously. As well as, let's say for teaching, if you're looking for instructors, it's hard to find a female instructor to teach you. Yes. And it's mostly male instructors. And I think this is worldwide, not just in Oman. But in Oman, mostly, because, so far, I believe I'm the only female instructor here. We're aiming to change this, but for this we need to get the women to be interested in scuba diving.
Yes, definitely.
Right, and then come in and join and try. So I suppose that's the biggest challenge. Another challenge that's been said by my peers would probably be equipment. Generally, scuba diving equipment is made for the male physique. Okay. Right, broader shoulders, narrower hips, and not so much made for women. Oh. Right.
And that's the standard.
That's the standard. That's the standard size. These days it's starting to change, right? And they have more women BCDs. The BCD is the jacket that you wear. Yeah. Or women wetsuits, right? And it fits a woman more snugly and more comfortably underwater. So, it's starting to change. But I suppose these could be seen as challenges for now. Yeah.
Okay. And can you tell me more, just to touch upon, you said you are the first instructor and you believe you still are, but you're trying to change that. How are you changing that?
Well, we're trying to introduce women-only programs, right? To get the women to be interested in diving again. We give discounted rates for women, okay, especially during Omani Women's Day and things like that. And we're hoping this attracts them to at least start diving for one day. And then if they like it, then they can go ahead and pursue it. The thing with scuba diving is it does take time. Yeah. So you need a few hours underwater. We need, the ladies to understand that, yes, it takes time, but you have all the time in the world to finish it, right? So you're not, it doesn't mean that you have to be done in 3 days or a week. You can take up to a year to finish the course. But as long as you keep pursuing it, as long as you keep diving, there's a lot of women who will come in and do just the open water course, which is 3 days, and then never dive again. Oh. Right? So by the time they get back into diving, it's new, and it's, and all the fears that was there when they first started, it comes back again, right? So just like any sports, jump into it and then continue.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can you tell me, for anyone interested, obviously, can you tell me where they can find you? Because you said we are training, and like maybe the location or the business name.
Right, sure. So the business is Aura Divers. Okay. Right, that's a scuba diving center.
For female.
For females. Well, it's for mixed. It's male and females. But because I'm the instructor, you will get a female inclusion. So I will be teaching you. It's located in Al Moj Marina. You can find us on all of the social media platforms. You can find us on the website, auradivers.com, Instagram, all under the name of Aura Divers. So you can send us a message through there.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into preparation. Let's go as how Ihda starts diving.
Right.
So tell me, how do you prepare both mentally and physically for a dive, just a dive session? Be it a course, or be it just you're going for your daily dive.
All right. So when you are diving, it's very important to be well rested, right? To be in good shape. When I say in good shape, I mean, have a nice light breakfast, right? Because the last thing you want to do is to have a big breakfast, jump into the water where, it might be a little bit wavy. There might be a little bit of a current, or you're on a moving, rocking boat, right? With a full breakfast in your belly. So have a nice light breakfast, have good sleep as well, right? Scuba diving can be taxing. Okay. Right, so definitely sleep, good breakfast, get my bag sorted, and then head to the dive center. Unlike other sports, yes, scuba diving can be challenging, but the idea of it is to go as slow as possible. It's sort of like underwater yoga, all right, or underwater meditation. Everything is slow, right, calm. Because if you're jittery, obviously the fish will go away, right? You create too many ripples underwater, and you don't want that. So everything after that is nice and calm and smooth. So mentally, you prepare by being calm. Right? Calming your nerves, asking questions with the instructor, ask me questions, right? So if we're talking about me, then I'd go to my customers, I'd go to my, the girls on the boat. Hey, is everything okay? Do you have any questions? Right? Another thing is safety. Scuba diving can be very safe and can be very dangerous.
Okay.
It depends on how you approach it, right? So PADI, or when you do your scuba diving course, you're given a sort of checklist, and you have to go through this checklist with your equipment and make sure that everything is in working order, because the last thing you want is to jump into the water at 30, 40 meters and then have one of your equipment not working. Right?
Yeah. And the equipment is heavy, right?
It's heavy. It's heavy. But in water, it's not as heavy. It's only heavy in land.
All right.
Yeah? So check your equipment, make sure everything's okay. Check your buddy's equipment as well, right? Because if anything goes wrong with your equipment, guess what? You have your buddy, right? And then you check your buddy's equipment, make sure everything's okay there, and then jump into the water. Very easy. It sounds complicated, but really, it's very, very simple.
All right. You got me excited, and I'm scared of water.
Fantastic.
I did snorkeling. That was the first step, and I'm so proud of it.
Good.
Keep posting about it.
Yes.
I really want to go again. But when we were snorkeling, I saw divers and I was like, that's another level. I need to mentally prepare myself for that one.
Yes, but you see, when you're diving, you have air.
Yeah.
Don't you? So you have air on your back and you can continue breathing.
Okay. I think because the way you breathe when you're snorkeling, for example, is like through the mouth and not the nose.
Yes.
I almost choked a few times, but then I got it. I was like,
No.
I got a picture as well.
Come to me.
Definitely. All right. We're going to go on a quick break. But once we're back, we're going to talk to Ihda more about her favorite spots to dive in Oman. And she went viral in 2022. We'll be right back. As we talk more about women in sports, Ihda Al-Barwani is the first female Omani PADI instructor. And she's in the studio today. So, Ihda, just before the break, we were talking about your origin. And then after that, we spoke more about how you prepare mentally and physically to go for a diving session. And also, we spoke about safety measures and what you should and shouldn't do when going diving. So, I want to talk more about diving spots, be it in Oman or abroad. What are your favorites so far that you've tried, and why are they so special to you?
Okay. So in Oman, it has to be Damaniyat Island, hands down.
Wow.
Right? Damaniyat Island is a series of 9 islands.
Okay.
And it's a nature reserve, meaning you're not allowed to have any human influence, right? So no fishing or anything like that, which means there's an abundance of fish.
Yes.
There's an abundance of marine life, right? Add that with blue water. Visibility is phenomenal, right? On good days, you will be on the boat and still be able to look down 15 meters and see any marine life that's at the bottom, right? And the marine life that gets attracted to it are, leopard sharks and black tip reef sharks and turtles.
I was going to say turtles. I was like, I saw turtles.
Yes.
Sharks.
Yes. And they're year round.
Okay.
Right? They're just okay. The sharks are vegetarian.
It's sharks.
You
now
know?
you convinced me not to go again.
But that's what makes it beautiful. Do you know what I mean? And because there's no human intervention, and obviously every time you go, it's strictly no touching, right?
Yeah.
We're going to observe. We're not going to go and interact and ruin nature.
Yes.
Because of that, the animals aren't afraid of us. The turtles aren't afraid of us. So when you said you went to see turtles, did they swim close to you?
Yeah, they did. And I was like running away from them because I'm scared. But also they were like, this is our house. We don't care. We're just here. We're just swimming.
Yes.
Yeah, it was such a cool experience. I've never seen that much turtles before in my life. And they were like different sizes. There was a massive one, like a tiny one.
Yes, and the babies.
Yeah, so cute.
Yes. Yeah.
I was scared, but like it was so cute. Like from a distance, I was like, oh, turtle.
That's exactly it, right?
Yeah.
But that's purely because we don't touch it.
Yes.
Right? So Damaniat Island has that, and it has that to offer as well, obviously, as whale sharks during
Yes.
season. And when I say whale shark, I mean pods of whale shark, plenty. You'd snorkel and you'd find, 8, 9, 10 whale sharks,
Wow.
swimming around you, and they're curious. So they'd come in and they'd come close to you, and so Damaniat Island, hands down, here in Oman.
Okay,
Definitely.
what about abroad?
Abroad. So there are two kinds of diving. There's diving when you want to look at big fish, and then there's something called muck diving or macro diving.
Can you tell us more about that micro diving?
Macro.
Yeah.
So this is where you are more interested in the small critters, the small marine life, the stuff that not everyone can see, right? The shrimps, the nudibranches, the marine life that keeps that ecosystem moving. Right, and they're beautiful, they're colorful, they scurry everywhere, and it takes talent and a good eye to see it. So the best place is Philippines.
Philippines.
Well, that's what I saw is in Philippines. There are different places,
For micro diving is Philippines.
for micro diving,
Okay.
I'd say, yes.
And what about normal diving, but abroad, not Oman?
Normal diving, oh God, you have the Red Sea, which is right next door.
Yeah.
Right? You have Saudi and Egypt for the Red Sea. You have Indonesia for big stingrays, It depends on where you go. Hammerhead sharks and, or dugongs and again in Egypt. Really, anywhere you go with an ocean, you will find something. There's no such thing as a bad dive.
Okay.
You will find something. Yes.
I can see the passion through your eyes. Like when you speak about it, you're like, I love it there so much.
Yes.
And because you love it so much, you went viral in 2020.
Yeah.
So you had the famous underwater picture in 2020 in a full Omani attire, right? So can you tell us more about the idea behind it and why, like what inspired it and why did it go viral? You were everywhere.
Yes,
Yes,
surprisingly. To
every
me
blogs,
too.
yeah.
I did not expect it. When I first started, again, I was the only female that I could see that I was doing diving. And I figured it could have been a cultural barrier. That's why females did not look at diving as a viable hobby, right? So my idea was wearing the Omani dress with a lahaf as well on top of that, and going scuba diving to show that, look, you can be culturally appropriate. We can do this as women. I mean, if I could go in, with the Omani dress,
Yes.
Who's to say that you can't go in with anything you choose to wear? If you choose to wear the long, do you know what I mean? The long swimsuit, the burkini,
Yeah.
why not? Right?
Yeah.
Wear that. Wear whatever makes you comfortable, but don't let it stop you from pursuing your hobby, right?
Such a nice message. To be
Yes.
honest, that's such a nice
100%.
message.
So that's one of the reasons why. The second reason, I was carrying a basket of plastic.
Yes.
As well, and that was because there's a thing that happens when you start scuba diving, and it's an appreciation for the underwater world. You look at the current. You look at the coral reefs, right? You look at the fish that keep it alive, and you realize, right, this is it's first of all magical, and second of all, it's easy to spoil. Right, and so throwing plastic bags down, into eventually they end up in the ocean.
Yeah.
And you see it as you're diving. Though Damaniat Island is a marine reserve,
Yes.
you still see the plastic that's blown in from the shore.
Oh, that's sad, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Or the nets that's blown in from the shore, all the way to these reserves. And what they do is they cover these coral reefs, right? And they stop the fish from going out and hunting, for instance, right? Or they choke the coral. And the corals are very sensitive and they die, right? So these ecosystems are very important for us to take care of. Right.
Definitely.
And you understand this underwater. So, holding a basket with plastic is basically to show, as Omanis, yes, we get to enjoy this, but like it's our livelihood, we need to take care of it.
Yeah.
Champion conservation as a scuba diver.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's one question, but it's two questions, but I'm gonna ask it just as one question because you touched upon it about that. Don't let the reason you can't wear something keep you away from diving, for
Right.
example. So my question is like, what advice would you give aspiring female divers, and what are the misconceptions about diving that you would like to address?
Right.
Be it from a woman's perspective or just general
In
about diving.
general.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the message for women, I would say, is go ahead and try it. Right? It always takes the first step to try it and then realize that, okay, maybe this is for me, maybe this isn't for me. And they're both okay. Right? But what I get a lot of is, oh, I'm not good at swimming.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I'm scared of the ocean. And so you wouldn't try it at all. But like you did, you went snorkeling first.
Yes.
And you realized snorkeling was fun.
It was so much fun.
And there we go.
But I had a life jacket because I was like, I can't
It's
swim.
okay. We have jackets too.
Oh, in
Yes.
diving?
Yes. We have jackets too. You add air into the jacket, you go up, you remove air, and you go back down again.
One of them is going diving.
There we go.
Watch that space.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Right. So try it. You know, don't let it stop you. We're very capable in doing a lot of things. Right. And a hobby is a hobby. It's something you enjoy.
Yes.
Right. So who knows until you try it. What was the second question?
The misconceptions that people have about diving.
Misconceptions.
Be
right.
it for female or just in general.
Yes. I suppose that it's difficult and it's dangerous. And it's not. It's not difficult, neither is it dangerous, right? If you do the course, the course is 3 days long with an online learning. This is to make sure that you know everything when it comes to diving, right? Basics, all the safety features that you possibly need, all the physics that you possibly need to understand how your body reacts to the water. And if you follow these steps and these safety precautions, it's very safe. Right? But that's just like any sports, right?
Yeah.
If you take safety as a priority, it's always safe. And then it's enjoyable and safe. Right? So definitely try it, be safe while you do it, and guaranteed you're going to have a good time.
All right, one last thing. How do you see the future of diving, especially for women? Is it evolving as an instructor?
Yes, 100%. Let's say 10 years ago, I would say still predominantly male, but 10 years ago it would be very difficult to find females in the field. Yeah. Even when you go online, it's hard to find a female community. These days you go online and there's, Facebook communities, groups of solely female divers, and they give each other advice and advice of things like, I go scuba diving and my hair is
what can I do?
What can I do?
Like
what's the best wetsuit to wear?
Yeah.
So it is a community feel.
That's nice.
Yes.
That's really nice.
Yes,
like people
correct.
that could relate to you, especially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right. So just at the end of the show, I want you to tell everyone where they can find you if they want to DM you or they just want to talk to you and ask you more about diving.
Yeah, easiest channels to find me is Instagram, Facebook, and obviously the website. You can send me a WhatsApp, you can send me a private message. We will definitely answer as quickly as possible.
Can you give us your Instagram handle?
auradivers.com, AURA divers.com.
Thank you so much, Ihda, for your time today, and thank you for coming on the show.
You're
I
very
really
welcome.
enjoyed, and you convinced me. Myself and the girls from the show are
Hooray.
going to come diving, inshallah, very soon.